It's not enough to chug a gallon of water after a hot, sweaty workout because the body works hard at all times. Welcome to another edition in our long series of commentary about the comprehensive signs of overreaching and overtraining. And this content is inspired by the incredibly comprehensive look at all aspects of overtraining and remedies that is contained in the Primal Fitness Expert Certification course. There is nothing like it anywhere that we have found in the world. And it's such an important topic to get a comprehensive knowledge of and understanding of how the body works and how it can fool you by overproducing stress hormones and making you feel great and not sore and full of energy when you wake up so you can go out and train harder and harder. And then what happens is you crash and burn eventually. So we have to understand the nuances and these little signs that come up and then take corrective action to back off, even if you kind of feel hyped up and pumped up to go and do more training and take on more in your busy, multifaceted life. So this edition will talk about a few symptoms that occur during workouts and in everyday life. And the first one I want to start with is excessive thirst during and after workouts. This could be a sign of mild chronic dehydration and electrolyte depletion. Mild because you can go out there, you can still work out, but you might be in a depleting pattern due to this chronic overproduction of fight or flight hormones, which tend to deplete electrolytes. And the mild chronic dehydration can come when you stack up really challenging workouts, especially in hot weather, and fail to hydrate optimally over the course of days or weeks as you're immersed into this highly stressful training pattern. It's also important to note that rehydration is with a mix of water, sodium, and other electrolytes. It's not enough to chug a gallon of water after a hot, sweaty workout because the body works hard at all times to carefully regulate the sodium balance in the bloodstream. And that's what your kidneys are incredibly good at, is dumping in extra sodium or retaining it depending on the fluid level. And so if you chug a gallon of water, to be extreme with the example, after a hot, sweaty workout, what's going to happen is you're just going to pee out extra fluid in the ensuing hours to make sure that your body, your tissues and muscles optimally absorb the fluid that they need. You need to have it mixed with an appropriate balance of sodium, potassium, magnesium, other electrolytes, and even glucose has been found in studies to improve hydration, improve osmolality of the fluid when you have a pinch of, let's say, sugar or the other source of calories like that, and of course a pinch of sodium. And not to get super technical, but if you make a practice of adding a few shakes of quality salt into every 8 ounces of fluid that you consume, a pinch in every 8 ounces of fluid, that's a good rule of thumb to go by. So when I prepare a giant a quart size, 32-ounce size a beverage container to walk around with, I will pour some a significant amount of salt. Maybe it's a teaspoon or something every time I drink 32 ounces. And this is, again, so that you don't get overwhelmed with fluid that doesn't have sodium balance in there and then excrete it to maintain that proper sodium balance. So adding a pinch of salt or using one of the many quality electrolyte hydration powders that are available on the market now. I can't wait to introduce the B.rad Super Fruits 100% organic tropical fruit powder, a natural way to obtain healthy electrolyte balance because you're getting it from the fruit, and a great way to hydrate, something that tastes good too, so you're inclined to drink in a strategic manner, in a preemptive manner in between workouts, so you don't sink into this pattern of chronic dehydration. And another one that can be a symptom, even a advanced warning sign of impending overtraining and burnout, is overheating. This would be feeling unusually overheated immediately and for perhaps an unusually long time after a workout. This is a sign that your autonomic nervous system is out of balance. Remember, the autonomic nervous system has two branches, the sympathetic, which we nickname fight or flight, and the parasympathetic, which we nickname rest and digest. So when you're sympathetic dominant, sometimes you have difficulty recalibrating quickly back to a resting state or back to homeostasis with that body temperature somewhere around 98.6 Fahrenheit. So if you remain overheated or you get more overheated than usual at your typical workout, whether it's outdoors or in a gym, these are signs that you're sympathetic dominant and your return to homeostasis is compromised. Another reason that overheating can occur is that you're doing a workout that is too stressful for your current fitness level, or you weren't properly rested before going out there and slamming it again. So pay attention to excessive thirst, both during and after workouts. Pay attention to overheating, and we'll throw in another one there, which is frequent urination. And one of them could be from hydrating in an inappropriate manner, slamming down too much fluid without enough sodium, especially. And it could also mean that your adrenal glands are overactive, causing the kidneys to void frequently. Remember, the adrenals are positioned adjacent or on top of the kidneys, and the actual root word from Latin, add, next to, add, like addendum, add renal, kidney. So adrenal means next to kidney. And if you are peeing a lot and sort of like experiencing this nervous energy where you have to urinate frequently, this is a sign that you are in fight or flight stimulation. When can you reference this? That's right, race morning, when you're running around. I remember as a triathlete, finding the bathrooms were full and everyone had to pee in the 30 minutes before the race because of that adrenal activity. This can also occur during overnight sleep. And a lot of us are accustomed to just getting up and peeing during the night, thinking that it's normal. Sometimes peeing 2 or 3 times, especially the males in the advancing age groups like myself, where you start to get some benign enlargement of the prostate that causes you to urinate frequently and not as powerfully. So that's a whole nother issue. Dr. Brandeis talks about that a bit in our podcast about male sexual health and urinary health. But in this case, getting up frequently during the night to pee, or even getting up once or twice, is a potential sign of overstress patterns. Dr. Phil Maffetone was the first person to hit me with this argument that you should not be getting up during the night to pee. Your body is really good at holding its fluid, just like your dog who waits to the morning if they're well trained to get outside. We can certainly hold our urine overnight while we're sleeping. We're not getting up to pee because our bladder is full and overflowing. Of course not. We're getting up because of possibly inappropriate adrenal stimulation when we should be in deep parasympathetic rest and digest mode for the entire night. So if you're chronically producing too much cortisol, too much epinephrine, this is causing you to awaken too easily for frequent urination. And I'll add one more to close off this nice short list of symptoms, many more to come in our series, and that would be called a sodium-potassium imbalance. So what happens when you pump out a lot of cortisol and the other prominent stress hormone, which is called aldosterone, you don't hear about that as much as cortisol, but aldosterone plays a crucial role in maintaining appropriate sodium-potassium balance in the body. So when you have excess aldosterone production during this preliminary state of overtraining called overreaching, and before you get to full-blown burnout, if you're pumping out a lot of aldosterone, this leads to excess potassium secretion and excess sodium retention. Imbalances of this nature can result in symptoms like headaches, muscle aches, spasms, and cramping. And we'll talk further about those symptoms in a future show. Thanks for listening, watching, and more to come. Paying attention to overtraining.